What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JP back again with another video. Today I have the RedMagic 10 Pro. And basically, I'm just going to get this part out of the way now. Basically, what you have globally is finally the RedMagic 10 Pro Plus. Um, the Pro Pluses have been China exclusive since they started doing them, I think, with the 8 series. And basically, the differences really weren't worth bringing out globally anyways, because they had smaller batteries, but with faster wired charging speed. This time around, the Pro Pluses, when they were introduced in China anyways, they had bigger batteries and faster charging speeds, both of which the Pros get globally. So that means 100-watt wired charging, with an asterisk, which I'll get to in a minute, and you also get the 7050 milliamp battery. Now, of course, it's still not quite the Pro Plus unless you go with the model above the base globally, because the base has 12 gigs of RAM, whereas in China, the 16 gig model is the one that has the 7050 milliamp battery and the faster charging speed. In China, the 12 gigabyte model has a 6,000 something milliamp battery. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm trying to look it up now while I'm doing this. 6,500. So in China, the 12 gig got 6,500 milliamp battery. Charging speed actually may have been the same. Well, no, it was 80 watt. It was 80 watt. Okay, I stand corrected. But anything above that, you had the 7050 milliamp battery and 100-watt wired charging. And RAM aside, that's what you get globally on all models, even the 12 gig. So call it what you will. Consider, it's up to you what you consider and what you don't consider. If you have to bump up the one above the base to, for you to legitimately call it the Pro Plus, what have you, it is what it is. The asterisk is that even though globally these are capable of 100-watt charging, you get an 80-watt in the box, which, honestly, this conversation can go two ways. Why didn't RedMagic just include the 100-watt? And at the same time, the 80-watt is more than sufficient, because globally these phones have had 67 watts for like 3 years now, if I'm not mistaken. Which has been plenty fast. So the fact that they bumped it up and you actually get at least the 80-watt in the box, say what you will. They could have included the 100, but we are in a time where manufacturers don't even include the charging brick anymore, but yet they still advertise these ultra fast speeds. So, at the end of the day, RedMagic is still putting their money where the mouth is. Say, however you want to say it. I know I keep going back and forth there. But with that part out of the way here, you do get the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, which is just, the top of the line, right in the top of the food chain. And that does include the Adreno 830 GPU. And let's see here. You get a nice BOE AMOLED screen here. It does have a 2000 peak brightness, 144 hertz. They finally went above 120 hertz with the under display camera. I don't know if y'all remember. I do. I'm a huge RedMagic fan. They were the first to introduce 144 hertz screens. They were also the first to do 165 hertz, and they did it back to back. The year that they introduced 144 hertz, they had the S model that they always come out with a few months later. And then the next year, when the next generation came out, they introduced 165. So they only had 144 for a year, and then they jumped to 165. And they kept it for a couple of years. But then when they introduced the RedMagic 7 and 7 Pro were released separately. And that 7 had 165, but the Pro had the 120 because it had the UDC. And they just kind of stuck with that 120 hertz ever since they did the UDC. And after the 7 series, they never released the non-pros, outside of China. Because there was, in fact, a non-Pro 8. I don't think there was for the 9, but there may have been. But for the 8 and 8S, there actually was a non-pro that kept the 165 hertz display, but they were China only. The rest of the world only got the Pro with the UDC, and it was stuck at 120 hertz. Now, I know this doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but it's just, it's just a cool fact there. They're finally going above 120 hertz up to 144 with the UDC. I don't know if this is a 7th gen UDC like the Nubia Z70 Ultra introduced. They advertise that a lot on that phone, but not on this phone. So I'm assuming that that's one of the things that separates this from the Z50 Ultra. That's one of the selling points of the Z50. I said 50. Maybe one of the selling points for the Z70 Ultra that's not passed down to the RedMagic, even though they do have the same this time around BOE X2, I think it's called, AMOLED display with 144 hertz, 2000 milliamp peak brightness, or milliamp. Listen to me, I'm making all kinds of mistakes here. The 2000 nits peak brightness. They do get they both get the 144 hertz, which I think I already said about both of them. But yeah, I'm not sure. This could be 6th gen UDC. For all we know. But the good thing is that they didn't, the reason why they probably didn't go above 120 hertz when they introduced the UDC and kind of kept it there for the longest is because the front facing camera quality, it was already taking away from that. And if you're looking for a phone with a great front facing camera, this still isn't the one to go with. It still has the bad qualities that are associated with under display cameras. But they have managed to bump up to 144 hertz refresh rate, and it does not take away from the quality of the lack thereof of the front facing camera. This actually takes better selfies than the RedMagic 9S Pro that had a 120 hertz display with the UDC. So you're getting the bump up to 144, and in the selfie pictures, take it for what you are. Take it for what they are. They are better, at least. Again, they're not award winning, but they are better than what you got previously with the 120 hertz and the UDC then. So, I mean, it's still win-win if you think about it. I think that's kind of what RedMagic was waiting on. They were waiting to be able to at least up the quality of the front-facing camera and the selfies, with the upgraded refresh rate. So that's great right there. Of course, the rest of the box content, you do get the red cable, kind of like OnePlus. They do have a different case this time around. They kind of up the quality. It has those ridges in there that's supposed to help with air cooling, and it feels good in the hand too. The phone does have a very squared off design, but it does have the rounded edges. Beautiful design, honestly. I love the shadow color here. Very nice. You can see my fingerprints there. Sorry about that, y'all. You do get the see-through cooling fan right there. Other vents there. The gaming switch, which you can change to other things. The exhaust port. The Type-C, the SIM tray. No eSIM here, but it is dual SIM. No SD card slot. Let's see here. Let's see. Speaking about that front-facing camera, let's go over that right quick while I got the phone facing us. It is a 16 megapixel f2.0 aperture wide. It does a 1080 at 60 frames per sec. Now, as far as the rears, RedMagic since the RedMagic 8 Pro has been consistently upgrading and updating their rear camera hardware, which is great. These have consistently gotten better with the pictures that they take. Again, it's not a camera-centric phone. Camera isn't even its second priority. So it's kind of like the front-facing camera. If you're looking for a camera-centric phone, this is not the one to get. Maybe check out the Nubia Z70 Ultra. But nonetheless, for what you get, the package, $650, you can't beat it. I'm sorry. It's amazing for what you get here. It really is. As far as those those rear cameras go, you actually get two 50 megapixel cameras this time around, a wide f1.9 aperture and an ultra wide f2.2 aperture, and then of course a useless 2 megapixel macro camera. It would be nice one day to see them upgrade that to a telephoto lens, kind of like what OnePlus did with when they went from the 12R to the 13R. That was a nice jump there from from OnePlus. But you're talking about two phones that are going for different parts of the market. So they're really not comparable, honestly. Let's see. Other than that, you do get 12 gigs of a DDR5X RAM. Up to, you also got options for 512 and a terabyte of storage. And speaking about the storage, what's really unique here is it's UFS 4.1 Pro. No one else is doing 4.1 Pro right now. Everyone is still doing 4.0. This is the only phone that I know of that has 4.1 Pro, which is awesome. I mean, I don't know what the advantages are, but it sounds awesome. Beyond, and of course, I think I already said it, but the RAM is DDR5X. Again, you get a 256 with 12 gigs of RAM, 512 with 16 gigs of RAM, and a terabyte with 24 gigs of RAM. It does have virtual RAM as well, which bumps that up there. If that's something you're into. Some people say it's gimmicky. Some, I honestly enjoy it. If it doesn't slow it down as long as your storage technology is UFS 4.0. If it's 4.0, I find that the virtual RAM does not slow it down like some people say it does. For UFS 3.1 and below, yeah, it does. I have noticed that. 4.0, I don't notice it doing that. I'm sorry, that's just me. Let's see. It does have your built-in triggers, your gaming triggers right there. If I didn't already show those off right there. It does have in-display fingerprint sensor, facial recognition. Both work very fast. The fingerprint is not ultrasonic, but again, it works amazingly well for what it is. It's awesome. RedMagic's never really had a problem there. And let's see, it does have Android 15 out of the box, the RedMagic OS 10, and yeah, I mean that's really that's really pretty much it. Stereo speakers. It does have video out with the Type-C 3.2 Gen 2 for DisplayPort, which is awesome. Again, 7050 milliamp battery, and I'm just trying to think of anything that I might have missed. Great bang for the buck. I always absolutely love these phones, and that'll do it on this video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out.